Welcome to the John Show with your hosts, John Doogie Clouser.
All right. What is going on, everyone? How are you? We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show, episode 200. Holy crap. Can you believe it? We have made it. I would like to thank everyone who doesn't listen to this podcast. I want to thank everyone who thought that me, getting into a good college and then being like, hey, I'm going to major in film was a horrible idea. I want to thank myself for having the fucking balls to finally, it took a while. I've been doing podcasting, like I've told you guys, since 2011. The summer of 2011. And, 200 episodes. I've done a bunch of episodes. I've done a crap ton. I've done, probably at this point, well over 1,000 episodes. I've recorded, I've either engineered, recorded, been on, over 1,000 episodes. And then I was like, but it was always with someone. It was always it was always like multiple people. And I always had in my head, and I did it a couple times way back in the day. It was like I did an hour. I would talk for an hour by myself. But I only did like 2 episodes. It was because when I used to live with Aaron and I used to live together, when we used to do the Bear and Friendship show, then the Aaron and John show. And so when I lived with him, like he would have to, sometimes he'd be out of town because he had a gig, a stand-up gig. And so I was like, I'll just do a podcast by myself. And then you just realize how hard it is. And plus I was, I don't know, I was younger, not that much younger than I am now. I don't know. How long ago was that? I was probably I was working for the Royals at that time as a photographer for them. And Lola's in the room. Yeah, she killed a squirrel and then ate it. My little 12-pound dog is a murderer now. So it's great. It's beautiful, awesome. But yeah, so I did a couple back then. I'm just like, this is awful. But I just didn't have, I had the abilities to do podcasts with a bunch of people. I'm like, so I don't need to do these solo ones myself. There's no need to. Then Aaron moved away. He moved away. Now he lives in Chicago, has a beautiful girlfriend, have a dog together. It's quite beautiful. So of course he's not around as much because he is a professional stand-up comedian now. He just does that as to pay his bills. And then after that, so he's doing that. And so I just, he doesn't live in the same city anymore. So I don't have really anyone else I want to do a podcast with. And I've been thinking about, I should really try to do a podcast with someone else, maybe do another comedian, ask Aaron if there's another comedian that would possibly be a good candidate. I don't know. I also feel like if you've seen any of my clips or anything that you're like, I don't want to talk to this guy. This guy's a fucking moron. Bro, he's like, no one has anything to say to me. So I was like, I understand. But it also could be that sense of never feeling liked. Never feeling liked. But the thing is I don't want to feel like, I'm just I'm probably not liked here. So I'm just going to move on. I'm I'll just be myself over here in the corner. I'm fine. I get it. I'm not hurting anyone. I'll just do things like this by myself. I'll do this. I'll sit in a fucking room and I'll just type away on a computer and write stories like a dipshit. It's you would think, and the funny thing is, you think I probably read a lot of, I've read, Malcolm X, I've read The Odyssey, I've read, books, but I normally just read sports and dumb conspiracy theories, and that's how I read, because I just look at it as hey, the thing is, you just need to read, you just need to just do something in that sense to get your mind like activated. And I just listen to, but the thing is, like, I listen to a lot of stories. I just listen to a lot of fucking stories. So then I understand like beats, and then I'm able to also like, I've heard something like, I've heard like how, like in a story, how they were able to like, direct a character through this obstacle to get them through it, and that'd be like one obstacle to like, then you can build on another obstacle, then to build another obstacle, kind of, because most movies is like a call of action movie. So like Lion King is a call of action. So Simba, there's a stampede, his father gets killed, he blames himself, because if he wasn't in that thing, Scar also says, hey, if you weren't here, your dad would still be alive. Boom. So he runs away, and then he grows up out in the world, because everyone says that he just got killed. So that's it. And so when that happens, and then he finds out that Scar is like destroying the Pride Land, and because he runs into Nala, and the call to action is like, hey, you need to do this. And then he runs into the monkey, and then the monkey like it's like, oh, the king has returned, that thing. So these are obstacles. Like the first obstacle, like for the kid, is that he has abandonment, and so he has to like now live out on his own. Then he's out in the street, and then he meets his friends, and then you can also look like at then like the obstacles in the very end of the movie, where he had to like the montage getting back there. So that's like a man versus nature thing, and then like he had his like final showdown, that's man versus man. And so he had to do that. I don't know if probably what happened. There's a piece of food. Because her ears are all wet now. Like, she got a bath today, but Lola, and her both her ears and her whole face is all wet. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I'm like, there's no way that you're still wet from the bath. There's a piece of dog food that fell in the water. I didn't get it out, and so I'm assuming she probably just went to town, like biting into the water trying to get that piece of dog food. I'm sure that's probably what it is. And she's a little shaggy right now because she hasn't gotten a haircut in a while, because there's like this like some doggy like COVID thing going around, and so it's like a respiratory, and like dogs get really sick, and so and you're not even supposed to like let your dog be around other dogs. It's like almost like a 6-foot rule for dogs right now, and they say like one of the biggest things, like kennels, like doggy daycares, and and groomers. Those are like the 3 places that have like the highest level of transmission. So she's just kind of like really shaggy right now. So I trimmed her eyebrows so the hair's out of her face a little bit, but I don't know if I did a great job. Lola, huh? You probably could get a little bit more of a trim. It's just, these are the things, life of having a dog. But yeah, episode 200. Then, I fucking, it's crazy. I honestly thought it was freaking funny. Because, I just started doing this dumb thing. Because, I honestly started doing it because I'm like, I think I might have early CTE or something like that from, just playing football and always hitting with my head. And so, I played football for a long time. So maybe I should, do something that requires me to talk and to think off the top of my head. And so I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, fuck it, dude. John, you've done podcasts since 2011. So like, this is bound to have happened. This is going to happen because you do podcasts all the time. So there's no reason why you shouldn't just do one by yourself. And then it's good practice for lighting, and because I just do a 3-point lighting, something crazy, nothing crazy here. I like to make sets in the background. That's fun as fuck, and that needs to change. That's going to be something new for 2024, because that shelf needs to move someplace else in this office. And yeah, I think I know where it's going to move to, and then yeah, we'll go from there and probably change this whole thing up. because I do think it's funny though. Having that stupid fireplace, that fake fireplace thing, I think it's hilarious as fuck. I guarantee no one else finds it funny. I just like, this is hilarious that I have this stupid ass fucking fire thing in the back. Stupid as hell. Oh, but yeah. And what was the other thing like I was gonna say about this little like podcast thing? What this really should show you all though. This is what it is. There was something else, but what this really should show you is that you can do a podcast too. If you want some like inspirational shit, if you want some inspiration, I hate the inspirational stuff. I hate the self-help stuff because it's like you're not talking to anyone but yourself, like about this. Like it's so weird that this is what you want to do. This is what you want to bring into the world. This is the vibe you're bringing to the fucking party. It's like, at least I'm trying to be funny. Like I'm an asshole, but like eventually, like you'd have a couple beers in you, and it's like Costanza, you know, it's like the same Klauser. It's just, eventually, you know, we'll have some beers, we can have fun, and then, like, you're like, yeah, he's not a bad dude, kind of weird, does a lot of different things. He strums and beats his guitar, his drum differently. There's a lot of different ways how that sentence could have gone. And yeah, so, but what it should show you, if you want some really inspirational shit, is that, yeah, you can do something. And think about if you end up getting like 200 episodes of whatever that thing that you keep saying that you want to do, but you haven't done it yet. How do you think you're going to feel? How much better you're going to feel after getting that accomplished? So, all I'm saying is, this is episode 200, Inspirational Juan right here. Get your 200 episode of something. Just do it. It's not hard. And just do it every week. A little bit every time. Every week. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. And hell, you just might still be a guy who can't speak into a microphone after 200 episodes of doing this. You would think I'd be better at this, but I'm not. But if you want inspirational shit, that's what it is. Like, if you just set your mind to something, you can get 200 episodes of whatever it is. To 200 episodes is just a metaphor. Inspirational Juan. That's going to be the episode. That's going to be the title of this episode. But yeah, just, you can have fun. Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck. You think I care? Like, hardly, no one watches this shit. But it's not for that. It's just fun. It's fun to do. It's something I do. It's because I guarantee you a lot of you who listens to podcasts, people listen, they're like, I could probably do a podcast. I would love to do a podcast, but you're too scared because but you just gotta nut up, just sack up, take your nuts, put in your hand, and nut up, and realize that it's not that hard. It's hard, I guess. Yes, coming out of a shell. Yes, but think about how great you'll feel after doing 200 of whatever that is that you have wanted to do. You'll feel good. You'll feel accomplished. You'll feel like you can accomplish and do more things with yourself. So it is what it is. So inspirational. Inspirational. You ever fucked up on a word and then like it had that red line underneath it, and then you click on it and it's like the computer's like, no word found. It's like, dude, you fucked up this word so bad that I'm like, not even this computer, this AI program understands anything of what you're trying to say. Inspirational Juan. There we go. It's funny. I say inspirational, Juan. I think I should have the title like that too. Just weird as shit. And now it's listening. Okay, we're done. And now it wrote down all that. I should have my phone going and have a transcript as well, and like have the video and the transcript like going and like sliding up, like you see in Star Wars, like at a I should do it at a diagonal angle where like is this like going further out? Like why? I don't know. The Juan Solo Show. It kind of makes sense for the thing, but and I guess that is a good segue. So when I first started doing this show, I was like, I'll just call it like the John Show or something like that, like the John Clauser Show, or some stupid thing like that, because it is there's nothing serious about this at all. I'm just doing this just to have fun because I have the equipment. Like there's no reason why not to do it. It just honestly one of those things. It's one of those things like that. It was just there. It's always been there. So like, why not just get it done? Just like fuck it. It's not gonna hurt me. This cost me zero money to make this. Like I make short films that cost me a lot of money to make. So it's just and those are nothing. Those are like 2 minutes. 2 minutes of footage. Crazy life, how it is to be a filmmaker. Doo-dah. And so yeah. It's crazy, but the Juan Solo Show. So like then I was with my friend Aaron, because we did a podcast together, and I brought up the idea of I'm just gonna of the show, and he's like, why don't you call it the Juan Solo Show, because it's like you're solo by yourself on it. Your name's John, but you're Latino, so Juan, and then show. It's like it's that. I'm like fuck yeah, dude. It was sitting right there. I'm like good, nice, and then and then it was born. And there we are. 200 episodes in. It's insane. It's crazy how it is. How this world works. Been listening to a lot of this. This world's not even real. We're living in a simulation. Which would be crazy if we were living in a simulation. Because I'm like, who is controlling me? Who is controlling to make a character want to do a podcast? And then he does it over and over again, which can also be like, isn't that weird? There's theories like that. There's like theories that like gravity is like not as strong as you think, because like black matter, the black matter theory. So it's like electricity. Like they say that like electricity actually is what holds us more to the earth than gravity does. It's like shit that's like way bigger and way over my head, but it's very interesting. Which also brings up like since I've done 200 episodes of this thing called a podcast, I've thought about like I'm not gonna stop doing it because it's fun, but I kind of want to make more work for myself, because there's no reason not to have more work as a filmmaker. Because even if it's something that will only help me understand like the editing program better, because if the more I edit, like I edit all the time, so I'm really good, and so if I edit more, I'll even be better. That's how I kind of look at it. Like I'll start doing I'm going to start doing what I do with my body. I want I'm pretty fit for being a guy who's 34 years old. My birthday is like in like a week and 4 days or something like that. What's it? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, a week and 5 days away, something like that. Happy birthday to me. This might be. I don't think this is the birthday episode. Might be. I don't know. It's inspirational Juan. That's what it is. But, yeah, I kind of want to like do more with this podcast. And I kind of want to do like a more weekly. I look up something. I have all these things. I'm starting to write down that I'm like, okay, let's do a little bit more research on this. And it's almost like a documentary podcast thing on a subject matter. And I guess it's more honed in on something. And I don't know. I kind of like this format, how I do it now, but I also want to try something new. So if those start happening, don't be shocked. No one's listening to this, so it doesn't really matter, John. It's so funny. Maybe some aliens You know, they're out there like, oh God, it's almost time for him. Can we beam him up yet? Can we? Because I think he's done. I think he's done. I think we've got everything we can out of him. So let's just get it going. Get him up there, dude. I would love to see an alien. For the love of me, God, I would just love to see one. It would be the tits. I'd be like, holy shit. Oh man. You guys are fucking real, and they won't talk, and like they're gonna just like, most likely they're not gonna talk, and like they all speak with the brain and shit. But I'm like, I still want to be like, if they talk my brain, I still want to say stuff like, this is insane. What's your name, buddy? Huh? And it's so funny, these stories. God, because I listen to so many of these bullshit stories of like Bigfoot and like Dogman and aliens and stuff like that, and I'm like, you can tell like a good story, because a good story doesn't use like kinda and like sort of and like I think, like it wasn't like, it's like, no, like this is what it is. If like I'm like, because there's a sense of being like, well, I think it was like, you know, like 12 feet tall and like had like brown fur versus something like, you know, like I was like so like just in shock, like, you know, it was just a dark figure and it had like, I'm gonna assume since it was dark, it had like, you know, brown hair, and it was just, you know, and it had these, you know, it stood about like, so like if you had like this, you know, these kind of like, and you mentioned some kind of tree, and it's like it was like about that height of a tree, or, you know, it was like about like, you know, like if you had like a goalpost and like a basketball hoop, and like, you know where the bottom of the net is, its head was like right at that level. It was right there. Like there's ways of describing. You're not kind of like sort of, kind of, like, I don't know. For me, it's just like those words are not in it. Like I do a lot of like, I just wrote a story. It's like 16,000 word story. Humble brag. But I realized that I use a lot, kind of this, kind of that, kind of. I'm like, it's a filler word that doesn't need to be there. And so I'm like, and they're like, I need like, take them all out, take them all out, because it's stupid. It just doesn't flow right with the story. But you know. But guess what? I even looked at that this year. At the end of this year, I have written, I mean, I guess I've written 16 new stories. And the thing is, like, there's 12 months. So like I submit these to festivals and like our competitions, writing competitions. So it's like I've gotten so much better at writing. I've gotten so much better at like speaking, even though some weeks I'm like dog shit at this. You know, I'm better than I would be if I never did it. If I just like, oh, you know, it'd be really cool if I did it. It would be really cool if I did this. So, you know, now I'm, you know, doing it more. But yeah, what I'm going to say is like, I'm going to apply what I do with my body. So, you know, I do 2-a-days like during the summer. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start doing basically the equivalent of 2-a-days with like my art. I need to start doing that. I need to ramp it up a little bit more. You're good. You can do it. It's not that hard. You've gotten a vote. You got like a vibe. You got like a system going. Like, because I have like, I'm like Monday. This is what I do. Tuesday. This is what I do. Wednesday. This is what I do. Thursday. This is what I do. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And usually on Sunday, I usually just write, and then I just watch football. But then when football season's over, I'm going to have time to do more other things, because I'm going to actually have like a weekend. It's just funny how football takes up so much of my time right now. Because I love it. I love it so much. It's so much fun. It's also fun, too, the conspiracy theories in football. Oh, it's another thing. I should do conspiracy theories about football. Conspiracy theories about golf. Conspiracy theory. Like, I'm sure there's great conspiracy theories about, like, some cricket match that happened in 1916. Like, it'd be insane. Like, and a guy named, like, Chester Woodbrook. Like, that's going to be a name. Because England was the one that invented that fucking sport. It's a great sport, by the way. It's a great thing to watch outside of football. I can't tell you, and I will never be able to tell you, like, watching cricket is one of the craziest things to watch. It's just insane. It's fun as hell to watch. It's like, So it's gonna be it's gonna be that thing. So I think I'm gonna slowly go into that kind of aspect of it, and then I'm gonna be getting hopefully I get a tablet. It'd be really cool if I got a tablet for Christmas, but probably won't. So I have to save up and get a tablet. And once I get a tablet, it'll be much easier because I can just be able to do everything on a fucking tablet and have it right here, and do a show and shit. But hey, this is what we're doing. This is how it is. Yeah. So what else do I have to talk about on this show, on this podcast? Let's see. I put the fart in art, or put the art in fart. I really fucked that up. So I put the art in fart. I don't know where I heard that, but I heard that this past week, and I'm like, what the fuck? Or it could have been in a dream. I don't know what the fuck, dude. Like, there's some weird things that are said in my dreams. They're just absurd like that. And I'm like, I don't know if it's like maybe something I was listening to and I fell asleep, and then, could have been that. This little dog over here, she is passed the fuck out. It's so funny. She just all she wants to be right now. Because like before I started this podcast, I was sitting down in a chair, kind of just looking over what I wanted to talk about, just seeing if there's any last things. And like what I do is I listen to an angry podcast to kind of get myself ramped up a little bit, to wake myself up. I'm like, okay. And it's just naturally that I work better that way. I work better when I'm like ramped and I'm like, just what the fuck? Just fucking fuck. And so, and she just was like wanting just to sit on my lap, and I'm like, oh, I think what she wants, I think she might be just a little cold, and so I think she wants some body heat. So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to edit this podcast when I'm done with this, recording it, and then I'm gonna probably have to hold her for a while. Because that's what a good dog dad does, okay? A good dog dad does. The triple D, good dad dog does. Like, what would WW good dog, like WWDDD, what would a good dog dad do? That was so stupid. Good dad dog do. You can tell that it's like, okay, we're like, all right. I'm like, all right, I've done this long enough. I'm like, we can move on to something else. But yeah, it's crazy. I guess I do only have a minute left on this podcast, don't I? So yeah, if you've gotten this far, I don't know, like this, comment. I don't know what to do. Do what you want to do. Hell, I've been doing this for 200 episodes. I can't believe that. That's insane. I am just over here trying my hardest to do just the salt of the earth kind of work. It's not much, but it's honest work. It's honest living. That's what I gotta say. It's like you wake up every day. You put your socks on. You put your overalls on. You snap the buttons. You put your cowboy boots on. Put your sombrero on, because that's bigger and it covers up more of your face when you're doing your hard work. And because I'm Latino, don't forget your poncho, and you do what you gotta do. Just honest work. But anyway, yeah. Well, you've gotten this far. Thanks for watching. I'm done. I'm done now. So I'm gonna edit this and hang on with my dog. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys on next episode. Bye on episode 201.